There are some major concerns looming on the horizon. Are you prepared to get through a supply chain crisis or an extended power outage? Hey guys, it's Jara with Wicked Prepared. Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a prepper pantry haul for you. We have had a busy month, and now that we're back to our normal life, we're looking ahead at some things coming up and making sure that we have everything all set to the best of our abilities to take care of our family no matter what happens. We know what's looming ahead politically in our country, as well as multiple hotspots across the globe. As I record this, we are witnessing Hurricane Helene get ready to make landfall in Florida. By the time you see this video, the storm may have passed, but many people will still be dealing with the aftermath. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone in the path of the storm. We're also watching the possibility of a dock worker strike here on the East Coast that could have a huge impact on the supply chain. Neither of these things are reasons to panic. They just serve as a reminder of why it's important to be prepared, to have shelf-stable food in your home for those times when you can't get it from the store, to have clean water available, and to have some sort of a plan for cooking, light, heat, cooling, and all that sort of thing when you're faced with a power outage, whether it's from a storm or another cause. Because these things are a matter of when, not a matter of if. But preparation prevents panic and preserves resources. It allows us not only to help ourselves, but also to be in a position to help others who might need a hand. Don't judge your preparedness against anyone else's. Everyone has different needs, different household sizes, different budgets, different storage space, and different priorities. Preparedness looks different for every person. Even something as simple as adding a single small bag of rice or can of food to your weekly shopping trip is a step in the right direction, and it's going to add up more quickly than you can imagine. We strongly believe in keeping a rotating pantry and practicing store what you eat what you store in order to avoid waste. By doing this, prepping can become a natural part of your lifestyle rather than an additional chore that you have to complete. Now let's take a look at what we added to our preps and our prepper pantry this week and why. I'm going to get started on this side, but I actually want to start with some of the stuff in the back here. So I'm going to move some of this out of the way and start with this stuff because this is something I'm really excited about. This is for a food storage, meal in a jar type of project that we're going to be doing. We're going to be making our own ramen cups. So I've got some toppings here that I'll show afterwards, but the base of this is going to be the noodles, of course. Ramen is a pretty classic item that a lot of people keep in their prepper pantry. It's really inexpensive. It's fairly shelf stable. It can go rancid after a few years because of the oils in it. But we all know it's not very healthy. I've got to be honest, I actually love ramen, but it's definitely not something I should be eating very often. So by making our own, we can control things like the sodium, and what's more important for me is the carbs. So I do have some different noodles here. These are some low carb noodles. This is 6 servings. 3 grams of net carbs. So these are something that I'm going to be using in my noodle cups. And then I have some plain ramen that's not low carb that can be for everyone else in the household who doesn't worry about the carbs. It is organic, so it's a little bit healthier. There's 5 grams of fiber, and it's low in sodium as it is. Of course, you would add bouillon or something like that to it, but that is much easier to control when you're making it yourself. So this is a 10 serving box. There's going to be 10 different ramen bunches in this box. And then I have a couple other things. These stir-fry rice noodles I use for a lot of Thai dishes and things like that, but I think they might be good in a noodle cup. And then these Korean-style sweet potato glass noodles. These are something I'm not very familiar with, but they're really cool looking and they're pretty popular with the kids. They are made of 100% sweet potato starch, so they have this really interesting look to them. And because of that, they are gluten-free, but they are not low carb. I actually had to open this case up to see that nutrition information. They come in these single serve pouches. These cook in 6 minutes, so they may work with the pouring boiling water over cooking method. And you can see they are not low in carbs at all. And one other thing I have under here that has nothing to do with ramen, but it is just some of these chicken Vienna sausage bites. It's a case of these. I get these from Amazon. That's usually where I can find the best price. They do sell them at Dollar Tree, but that's usually not the best price anymore. But these are already cut up into little pieces, and they're a bigger can than a regular Vienna sausage. And we do like to snack on these from time to time, and they are a low-carb protein option that's very shelf-stable and inexpensive. Now, the great thing about these ramen cups is that we're going to be able to put our own add-ins and our own toppings and everything on these. I've got some really exciting things here for that. Of course, we can also add some things we already have. Bouillon, chicken bouillon, beef bouillon, mushroom bouillon, veggie bouillon. We have plenty of freeze-dried meats and vegetables that we can add to these cups. And then I got some really fun toppings. I got these Ramen Bae topping mixes. So this is a classic seafood and vegetable mix. And everything is dried or freeze-dried. And then I got this spicy garlic mix. A couple other items they had that seemed really neat. I got these little dried Japanese fish cakes. I think these actually were a free gift with purchase at the time that I bought these. So check out their website. I'm going to have a link down below and see what deals they have going on. I also have a coupon just for my viewers that I'll put down there as well. But these are these little dried fish cakes that look super cute on the top of ramen. I got these dried enoki mushrooms, which I thought would also look really cool on there. And actually add a little bit of nutrition because you can see that there's actually 2 grams of fiber in a serving of these mushrooms. And 1 gram of protein. I didn't realize that. And then the final Ramen Bae item that I got was these dried instant noodle eggs. So these are basically, I believe, scrambled egg pieces that are dehydrated or freeze-dried. And I'm hoping these might be okay because these actually might be handy to use in like a fried rice meal in a jar where you would want scrambled egg pieces. So I'm going to try these out and see how they are. I might use them for multiple different things. And then here in this little bag, I also have sesame oil packets. Sometimes packets are a really great thing to include with your shelf-stable meals, whether it's meal in a jar, meal in a bag, something just to have with it. So one of these packets is actually very malleable. I can fold it right in half and put it right into a jar if I wanted. This might actually be kind of a large amount of sesame oil for 1 cup of ramen. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to try it out. I do have some packets somewhere that are smaller that I can use if I need something smaller for 1 cup of ramen. But this is a whole pack of these packets that came together. And then this was something I picked up off the clearance rack at my Walmart. I always check the clearance rack no matter what, anytime I'm in the store if I have time, because you never know what you'll find there. A lot of canned goods I find there, a lot of things that can help me get prepared for less money. These are just some different seasoning packets that were on clearance. This Kinder's brand, we use a lot of their stuff and we really like it. So they had this carne asada seasoning that I wanted to try on clearance. This is a chipotle taco seasoning mix. I'm not sure if this would have been a really great, amazing deal because I usually buy my taco seasoning in bulk. But this is a different flavor that I don't have in bulk, and it's sometimes handy to have a packet if I am making a meal in a bag and I need to include just the right amount of taco seasoning for that meal. And then this bag here I actually found at Dollar Tree. I'm always looking for new products at Dollar Tree so that I can try them out. This was something I'd never seen before. It's a fajita sauce. This is not a powdered mix. This is actually a liquid sauce. So I just bought one so I could check it out and see how it is. And then I also have this big container of fajita seasoning. This is how I buy a lot of my taco, chili, and other seasonings in a big container like this. This is 21 ounces. I have a fajita seasoning I really like that I get at Save-A-Lot in packets, but I haven't been able to find it. I think they discontinued it. So I am trying out different fajita seasonings to find a new favorite. So this is the latest one that I bought because fajitas is such a good, easy meal to make, and it can even be done as a meal in a jar or something like that for emergencies. And then this is one that I picked up with my ramens in mind, sesame ginger garlic crunch. So this sounds like it would be really good in a ramen cup, so I thought we would try this. This is just another Kinder's seasoning, buttery steakhouse. We really enjoy their seasonings. We like to keep lots of seasonings on hand because you don't want to get sick of eating the same foods over and over, especially if you're eating out of your food storage. So with lots of different seasonings, you can make the same basic items taste like a lot of different things. And then this one is a butter-flavored theater salt that I just got to have around for popcorn. Popcorn is a great thing to have in your prepper pantry. You can get it really inexpensively, and not only can you pop it easily over a stovetop or a campfire or anything like that and have a snack, but you can also grind it and make cornmeal out of it. So it's a multi-purpose item, which is really important. Here's a couple of other things that I had back there. This is actually a set of collapsible measuring cups with a spout for liquid measuring. And I grabbed these because when we travel, we take some things like some meal pouches with us to save us a little bit of time and money. And I have a lot of kitchen things that come with us. I have a little travel kitchen set. But one thing we didn't have was measuring cups. And I will typically use like a 8 or 9 ounce water cup that might be in the room, or a 12 ounce coffee cup, and estimate the water. But we got spoiled in one hotel room we were in that had a kitchenette this past trip, and they had measuring cups, and it was a lot easier. So I decided to get myself some travel collapsing measuring cups. There's 1 cup, half cup, third, and a quarter cup. And then this bread pan I stumbled across on Amazon, and it was really inexpensive. It was less than $10. I want to say it was like $7.99. This is a 13-inch long bread pan, and your typical bread pan is going to be 9 inches. So this is like basically 1.5 the length of a typical bread pan. This could be good to make a long loaf of bread, or I thought meatloaf might even be good in this, because we usually want more than just the typical 1 loaf size of meatloaf. I just thought this would be a cool thing to have on hand. You could even do like a half wide lasagna instead of a 9x13 pan. You could do this 13 by 5 and make a half wide lasagna. I do try to stay away from nonstick coatings now as much as I can. So I think for my regular size bread pans, I might be looking for glass or for a different material. So let me know if you have a favorite. I mean, for the loaf shaped pans, not like a round Dutch oven, but I didn't think I would find a pan like this in another material. So I grabbed this one. Now, these next seasonings here, I'm really excited to talk about. These are from, you've probably heard me talk about one of my favorite companies, Firehouse Flavors. They actually sent me these as a thank you because I do refer so many people to them. I refer people to them because I love this company. I love their products. They have great customer service. They're a great company. Because they're a small family-owned company, they really, really appreciate the referrals. And so they sent this as a thank you. So I, in turn, really need to thank all of you, all of my viewers, all my friends from my Meal in a Jar group for supporting this small family business, which is awesome. They have all sorts of powdered ingredients, which if you love making meals in a jar like I do, they're great to have on hand. They're also good for people who make things like dip mixes or soup mixes. If you are traveling, you know you're limited on the amount of liquids you can travel with. So sometimes having powders can help you bring something along that you might not otherwise be able to. Lots of uses for these. They have some really amazing things like soy sauce powder, teriyaki sauce powder, ketchup powder, all sorts of powdered items. This time what they sent me is, this is some tomato powder and a small spice bottle, which could be really handy if you don't use a lot of it because you don't have as much to get all caked up and get old. And then they also sent some orange juice powder, which I am really excited about. I use their lime juice powder quite often, but I've never tried the orange juice powder. That is one thing about this company, being a small company. They have a lot of attention to detail. They're always sending me something that I've never tried before. Even when I place my own order, you usually get a small sample free with your order. And if I forget to choose the sample I want, I notice they always send me something that I haven't chosen before. Then some hot sauce powder. So this is Frank's Red Hot sauce powder. So this would be really awesome for buffalo chicken dips, buffalo chicken casseroles. I have a buffalo chicken casserole I like to make. This I'm really excited to use. And here is some peanut flour or peanut powder. So this is great for any recipe that would use peanut butter or peanuts, anything that would have that peanut flavor. White cheddar cheese powder. I'm definitely excited to use this one. I love white cheddar. This would also be good on popcorn, but it can also be an ingredient as well. This, look at this, cinnamon roll frosting powder. That sounds amazing. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to use this, but there's going to be a lot of different ways that I could use that. And next I've got my monthly haul from Thrive Life. Thrive Life is the biggest and the best freeze-dried food company in the world. And we absolutely love them. They are well known for their quality and their clean, simple food. This month I did get 3 cans of the sauce, the tomato sauce. Now this is more than just plain tomato sauce. This is basically like a marinara sauce, like a pasta sauce, spaghetti sauce, pizza sauce. It's all seasoned and complete. There's no other product I have ever seen that is like this. They have seasoning mixes for sauces like this where you put your own tomato products in, and they have tomato powder, which is just the tomatoes that you could use to make your own sauce. But this is a real time saver because it's completely seasoned and ready to go. You just simmer it with water and it makes a delicious sauce. I grabbed 3 of these because this had been out of stock and a lot of people were waiting for it. And when it came back in, I wanted to get some, and I do have insider information that once this sells out again, it might be a while before they're able to get it back in. So I wanted to grab some while I could. This is great for meals in a jar, any meal in a jar where you want that spaghetti sauce flavor, like a lasagna skillet. I've done chicken parm dishes, all sorts of things like that. And it's also great anytime you need some sauce, some pasta sauce or some pizza sauce, but you only need a small amount and you don't want to open that whole jar and risk the rest of it going bad. And these sauces are certified gluten-free, and they have no GMOs, no bioengineered ingredients, none of that. And I also like these for space saving in your pantry because this can is a quart size. So it's about the size of a jar of spaghetti sauce, but it's going to make a lot more sauce than what you would get in one jar of spaghetti sauce. So it's a really good space saver as well. And the other items I got this month are a couple of proteins. I got ground beef and diced chicken because these are ones that are on sale. These are really awesome because they have a 25-year shelf life and they definitely have a better texture. I like the texture better in freeze-dried meat than canned meats, especially with ground meats. And these would be great in the ramen as well. And then the other items down here that I got are a fruit and a vegetable. So I got spinach because this is on sale. Actually, I got a whole case of the spinach, which is 6 of these gallon-sized cans. I didn't put the whole case up because it would have taken up too much space. But I throw this in all kinds of stuff just for some added vitamins and minerals and nutrition. Just toss it into any kind of soup, stew, spaghetti sauce, casseroles, anything like that. And banana slices. This is something that my kids really like, and I can't grow bananas here in Maine, so we definitely make sure that we have plenty of freeze-dried on hand in case something happens and we can't get bananas from the store. If you are planning to stock up on freeze-dried food, we have a couple ways that we can help you save money. Number one, we have a text alert system where we will send out a text alert as soon as there's any new coupon code, flash sale, any type of sale, anything like that. And you can sign up for that by texting alert to the number that I'll show at the bottom of the screen. It's as simple as that. The other way you can save money is by doing what I did and becoming a consultant. I knew that was going to be the best way for me to buy the food at the lowest price possible. So even if you don't sell to anyone else, they've just made some changes at Thrive Life and all consultants are going to earn free credit back on their own purchases. So it's basically like getting a rebate on all of your own purchases, and it's unlimited. No matter how much you spend in a month, you're going to earn free credit back on all of it. And then back here, I have a big bag of chia seeds. This is a 25-pound bag, so this is a lot of chia seeds. I had to think about this before I grabbed this because it is a lot, but this was the cheapest way for me to get these. And honestly, chia seeds are so incredibly nutritious. The nutrition that these have in them is amazing. The amount of fiber, the amount of fatty acids that are really good for you. These are a total nutritional powerhouse, and I do really enjoy having chia puddings. And I can do that as a meal in a jar. I can make up a chia pudding all dry and have a whole bunch of them in my pantry. Just take one out when I want it, put some water in it, let it set in the fridge overnight, and I will have something really, really nutritious to have for breakfast or any time of the day. So I did grab this bag of chia seeds from Azure Standard. I'll have a link down below. Azure Standard is another company that has really, really amazing quality standards. The things that they don't allow in their company is great. And they also have a program where you can earn some free credit just by referring them to other people who would appreciate that kind of quality. So I will put a link down below in the description box to where you can go and just register for a free account. And then you will have a link that you can share with people. And if people make purchases through your account, you can actually earn some free credit off your own orders. It's a really awesome program. They're kind of like a big, giant health food store with really good prices, all online. They have got an amazing assortment of foods and cleaning products and anything you could think of. They have a lot of organic stuff. They have a lot of bulk dry goods. We get all of our whole wheat berries there. It's amazing the amount of stuff they have. You should go check them out. Next, I've got some things over here that I got from a company called Mason Jar Lifestyle. I was so excited when I found this company. They have some really amazing stuff. This is a postcard that they sent in with my order that shows some of the amazing stuff they have. They've got such cool stuff. I actually found this company when I was looking for this. This is a silicone sleeve to cover a mason jar. Now, I can find a lot of these on Amazon, but I was having a hard time finding one for the smallest mason jars, the 4-ounce little mason jars, 1/4 pint size. That is this size. It's like half of a small jelly jar. And I wanted to be able to use these to put snacks in for my kids, like freeze-dried fruit. If we open up a number 10 size can of freeze-dried fruit and I want to divvy it up for my kids' snacks, I would rather divvy it up all at once, and rather than having them constantly opening the can and getting into the can and letting, air and moisture into the can. So I thought this would be a really good size to put snacks like that in for the kids. And I know that in a mason jar, it's not going to get any moisture to it, so it's going to stay really good quality. But I didn't want them really bringing glass jars to school. So I found these silicone sleeves that can go over the jars. So I bought several for this size jar. They also have them for other size jars, and I did buy a couple of those. These are for the short half pints, the short wide half pint. And then this, I believe, is for the 1.5 pint tall jar. I just wanted to try a few of the other ones. I will probably stock up on some more of these over time, because I think they're really, really handy and really useful. They're not super expensive, but they're also not so cheap that you would just grab a whole bunch of them all at once. And here are some of the other items that I got from the same place. These are just some leak-proof storage lids, because I always used to buy the plastic storage lids from Walmart, the Mainstays ones, but they do leak. They don't have any kind of a seal or a gasket, because if I am putting something in my fridge, like a jar of relish or a jar of pickles or anything, I don't like to use that same two-piece lid. That's just a pain in the butt to take on and off. So these are one-piece lids that do have a rubber or silicone seal inside of them, so they keep it from letting air in, they keep it from letting liquid leak out. These are regular mouth. I'm sure I'll be getting more of these in the wide mouth. I just wanted to get some to try out at first. This is for a wide mouth jar. This is just like a cruet top, like you could use for something like salad dressing or oil or vinegar. Anything where you wanted to have a cruet top. This right here is, I think it's actually supposed to be for sprouting. It's like a mesh concave or convex top, and it comes with a ring. And what I wanted to try this for, though, is I've always wanted to have like a shaker jar that's a mason jar, and I have not been able to find that. Something where you would sift out your powdered sugar, your cocoa powder, maybe some flour if you need it for baking, those type of sifting jars, which I have found them in a metal can, but I've never found them in a mason jar. And I like a lot of my stuff in mason jars just for aesthetics. So I thought this might work for that. I'm going to try it and see how it works. The one thing that this doesn't have that some of the other shaker jars I've seen have is a lid to cover it up so that it stays fresh. But I realized I could put one of these pretty easily over the top, and it will act as a cover. So I'm hoping that this might work for what I want. And if not, I can use it for its intended use as a sprouter. And then the other couple things that I got here are also for using the mason jars for snacks and things like that, because a lot of people are trying to stay away from plastics, and including us. So you don't necessarily want your stuff in plastic bags or plastic containers. So you could, I believe this was available with, instead of this little silicone gasket, a complete silicone liner if you didn't want any of this plastic touching your food. But this is a coupler so that you could put two different snacks together. So you just put one jar on one side and one jar on the other side. And of course, you could do this with any size jar that's a regular mouth. And they probably had this in wide mouth too. I can't remember. I will put a link down below so that you can check it out and go see what they do have, since I don't remember everything. But you could also do this with this size of jar, whatever you wanted, put different snacks in different sides. And of course, you could then also still put the silicone covers on the jars so that you'd have a nice thing that would not be as breakable if you're sending this with your child, or maybe you work in a place where there's a lot of hard surfaces. I don't know. And then the other thing that I got here is another thing for like snacking. So with this, you would have this little container that you can put something inside of. You could put some dip, you could put some hummus, you could put some granola if you had yogurt in your cup, all sorts of different things you could put. And then there's two ways you could do it. You can put it on like this. And have it like this, or you can also do it like this. You would have less room in the jar, but they do have jars like these that are taller, the 3/4 pint jars, or you could even do it inside of a pint jar or a quart jar that has the regular mouth. So that's a couple different ways to use this. So it's just another thing for snacks. Now you can do this similar concept with a fruit cup, an empty fruit cup, and a wide mouth jar. So if you were doing something like dip and veggies or something, you can do it like this. I do like, though, with these that this has a cover attached, because with this, you don't have your own cover for the separate fruit cup that's inside. But it is a different way that you can recycle and use something that you already have. And once again, I do believe they probably had this in a wide mouth version as well. I'm not sure. I just got the small mouth. I just got the regular mouth one to try. And then back here, I've got a bunch of other cool little things. A lot of this is stuff that I grabbed because of travel that we have coming up, because a lot of these are things that I would use for that. The first thing I've got here is a charger that's all kind of together for travel or just for space saving. So this plugs into the wall, but you can see that this will flip in and out. And it also has a retractable cable built right into it. It locks in place when you pull it out, and then you just give it a gentle pull. And it goes right back in. And then it also has a place that you can plug in a USB if you want to. The only thing that could make this better, I actually tried this out and it worked really well. It charged my phone really quickly, which that's one of the problems I have when I try to get these space-saving charger type of things, is often they don't charge as fast as just the regular fast charging cable that I can buy separately. This charged my stuff quickly. The only thing that could make it better is if it had a little depression here that you could press this end of this cord into so that it was a little bit more square and it didn't have this sticking off. That would be the one change I would make to this, but it really worked well and it was really handy to have this all in one. These are a couple other things that I got for car charging, because you want to make sure that no matter where you are, you always have the ability to charge your phone, because a lot of us think of our phones as just a distraction, but really a phone is a tool and it's a lifeline. If you need it, you're going to want to have it charged. There's a lot of things on your phone. You've got all your contact information, you've got navigation, you've got flashlight, you've got all sorts of tools. It can help people find you if you go missing. There's a lot of different reasons to have your phone and have it charged. This is one I got for just for my car because I needed a new one for home, and it is fast charging. It's got the USB-C, and you can, when it's plugged in, you can have it light up around here, and I think you can change the color. That's what that button's for. But these I actually got more for our travel. I have a little kit of things that I keep packed up that if I'm going in someone else's car, I take it with me because it's the things that I always like to have in my car. So rental car, going shopping with a friend, my sister, anything like that, I grab it. And I wanted a smaller new car charger to go into that case. So these are basically the smallest little car charger you can get because they don't have the big bulky part. What they have is this little half ring that flips up so that you can use this to pull it out of the outlet. So it goes right down flush into the outlet. This set of two came with one that just has the USB-C ports, and then one has the regular USB and the USB-C. So whichever one, I'm going to be putting this one in my little kit because I want to have both options. And then one more charger that I grabbed because I am a big fan of things that are going to save space, especially if you're traveling or trying to keep something with you in your EDC. A big thing with preparedness is just having the things you need for every day, and the more compact and easy to carry and easy to pack things are, the more likely you are to have them on you when you need them. So this is just one, it's light, it's just one square little thing, but it has, you can plug it into the wall or you can plug it into your vehicle. So whichever option you need. And then this one is for fast charging, so it has the USB-C output. So this you could have with you and have the ability to either plug in a building or someone's home, anywhere like that, or to plug in a vehicle if that's what you needed. So I like this. I haven't tried this one out yet, but I will. And then I've got one of these rescue tools. This is for breaking the windshield or cutting the seatbelt in a vehicle. I have had other things like this before. I have other ones of these around. This one was one I found at Walmart, and it was pretty inexpensive. So I thought I would give this one a try, and it already has the keychain attached. And we do have, like I mentioned, we recently got a new to us vehicle, and we have teenagers coming up on getting ready to drive. So we need to get a lot more auto preparedness stuff. This little pouch I grabbed. I love having small little pouches that will clip onto things so I can keep small things contained. What I have in this right now, I just put in for just trying it out. I've got a little mini lint brush that I like to take with me because we have a lot of animals. I'm always covered in animal hair, and I've got a Tide to Go wipe, and I will be adding more. I have put some lip gloss in here, things like that. So I'll definitely be playing around with this, adding some more things. I really like this pouch. It's a nice leather pouch. It came in a beautiful box that you would not expect from something like this from Amazon. It has this clip, a really strong, sturdy clip that you can clip it onto the outside of your purse or your backpack, or even the inside, your keychain, any place that you need to keep some small things contained. Next, I've got a couple of multi-tools, small multi-tools. I was looking at a couple different multi-tools that were travel TSA approved, which means they can't have a blade, basically. They can have scissors as long as it's less than a certain length from the fulcrum of the scissors. This is a next tool, and this has no blade on it, so it does have a little pliers. That works pretty well, and it has the only tools it has a little ring here to clip it onto your keychain or whatever. It has a screwdriver, a bottle opener, and this is the scissors. They actually work really well. And then, of course, it also had that part of the scissors where it looks like it could be used as like a bottle opener or something here on this side of the scissors. So this is a nice, small, light, compact, and TSA approved multi-tool if you want to be able to have a multi-tool with you when you travel. And then this is just one other small multi-tool that may or may not be TSA compliant. This is a lever, I guess they're called. It's a cutter tool, so it has a blade in it. This has a an X-Acto knife blade. It's not a box cutter blade. And of course, the blade can be removed. And a lot of times people will travel with a box cutter or some type of thing like that with no blades in it, because then they can replace the blade when they get to their destination. However, on the website of this tool, it did say that if the TSA agent deems this to be a cutting tool, then it would not be allowed even with the blade removed. So I don't think it's something that I would want to try, but it's still a nice little tool. So it has a locking switch right here, so you can lock it so you know that it's not going to come out in your pocket or anything like that. And then the blade will slide right up. You can see that it is an X-Acto knife blade. It's definitely very sharp, and I'll lock it back up. It does have a bottle opener here. It has measuring tools on the sides. It has something here that can be used as a package opener if you don't need something really sharp. You just need something to open a package, and it can also be used as a flat screwdriver. And then it has this other screwdriver tip on the end. So this is a nice little tool. It actually came with a lanyard if you wanted to attach this lanyard here, and it also came with a belt clip that's optional. So it came with a little tool, it came with little screws, and if you wanted to use the belt clip, you would attach it right here. And you could also attach the lanyard here, or you could just attach a key ring here, whatever you wanted to do. Makes a nice keychain EDC type of item. And it would also be a nice gift. Next, I've got a few more things here that are kind of travel related. We like to be prepared no matter where we are. So this is another Hot Logic. I have showed a Hot Logic before. This is the Hot Logic with the car plug. So this has a little pocket in the back where the plug tucks in. So this one plugs into your vehicle. It has a light to show you that it's on. Now this is a personal size. They do make this in a larger size that would hold a 9x13 pan, and they use fairly little electricity, so that could be a good emergency option if you have some sort of a generator or solar power station, anything like that. We got these for travel. They're also great for people who work in the outdoors or any place like that they might be in their vehicle a lot when they work. This is just a little insulated bag, so it's about the size of a lunchbox, which I really like because I can keep things inside of it. These do come with a dish. This one came with a plastic dish, so I like a takeout dish almost, which I wouldn't really use. Some of them you can get it with a glass dish, I believe, which would be better, healthier to cook in, but not great for travel. So I just got the plastic dish, and then I got these silicone containers separately that we could use in this. So inside it has this little heating plate, and this works really well You just put food, you can put a glass container, you can put a metal container, you can put a plastic container, silicone, you can even put a paper takeout box in here. And then you just plug it in, zip it up, it comes on, and it heats your food up in, I want to say about an hour. We actually used this on our trip because we did a lot of driving and we would be driving basically all day. And so we took some leftovers that we had and we were able to put it in here. Of course, it stays cold because it's like an insulated bag. And then when we were getting ready to be ready for lunch, we would just plug it in and let it heat our food for a while. And then we were able to stop and eat somewhere. And another thing I like about this is because I can pack, we actually have 2 of these. We brought both on our trip, the car plug and the regular house plug, because that way we could use it in our hotel room if we didn't have a microwave. But I love that I can pack a lot of my cooking kit stuff inside of here. So I can pack a container. I can pack my collapsible measuring cups. I have a collapsible water kettle that heats water. All sorts of things can be packed right inside of here. And then we have a nice compact package to put in our luggage. All right, so back here I've got this cute little thing from Jackery. Now we know that Jackery makes generators, power stations. This is obviously not a big power station. This is a very cute, small power station. I got interested in this because I saw that it was basically the largest power station like this that would be allowed as airplane carry-on. So I thought I would check it out. It is important to note, like I said, this is small. It does not have a plug for like a regular wall plug. It has USB-C and USB-A plugs on it. But this can be charged with a solar panel. It does need an adapter, of course. I saw this in this dune white color, which is actually more of a tan, but I really liked it. And it's not too heavy, but it's heavier than I imagined it might be, but it's about what you would think for this size. Now my friend got one of these, and when hers came, she said it had stickers on it that said not to put it on an airplane, but I'm thinking that's because with a battery like this, you aren't allowed to check it in your checked luggage. You would have to have it as a carry-on. It has to be in the cabin. So I'm thinking with cargo that's being shipped for shipping, that would be why that said that. It is supposed to be no more than 100 watt hours for the TSA to be carry-on, and this one does fit that. So, but obviously keep in mind that this is something that's more for charging things like cell phones and computers, things like that. I also got another similar unit. I just figured these were both, I got a good deal on both of these, and especially this one was a really good deal, so I thought I would grab it and just check it out and compare. I could always return, you know, whichever one I don't want to use, or Mr. Wicked Prepared could use one and I could use one. This is a similar idea. It's just a little bit of a different shape, a different look to it, basically used for the same basic purpose. So I will probably try both of these out and see which one or both we think we can use. This was one more mason jar item that I grabbed. This was not from the Mason Jar Lifestyle website though. This one came from Asher Standard. They sell some of these Recap brand items. This is just a spray bottle that would fit on a glass mason jar that you already have. So this is good for cleaners and lots of different things like that. I just really like that mason jar aesthetic. So I like to use mason jars in a lot of things that I store and use. And then of course, if you are trying to avoid plastics, this would cut out some plastic out of your life. Of course, some of the components of the sprayer, I'm sure, are plastic. And then back here, I have got my latest shipment of Ruvi. These are like smoothie packs, and they're made with 100% real fruits and vegetables and nothing else. So there's no additives. There's nothing in here except for the whole fruit and vegetable. It's not juice, so you're actually getting the fiber and all the good parts of the fruit, the flesh of the fruit. We use these both for preparedness and for everyday use. I like that I can grab one of these and know that I'm getting several servings of fruits and vegetables in one quick and easy drink. I can put this with water. We like it actually with some kind of milk, either regular milk, soy milk, almond milk, coconut milk, or I can even put this into a protein shake or a yogurt or anything like that. I have these on auto ship. I can't remember if theirs is called auto ship or subscribe and save, but most companies have a program like that you can take advantage of to get discounts, to get free shipping and things like that. And usually you can use it in your favor. You can use it to get discounts and free shipping, and you don't necessarily have to order every month or every however often. So I have these set to come about every 3 months. I use these, the kids use these. These have been such a blessing for my youngest, who is my pickiest kid. She does not like a lot of anything, so I do worry about her nutrition. She has come to really like these to where she will ask for these with water, but especially with milk. There's different formulations. This is for your heart and your cardio health. This one here is for cleansing and gut health. This orange is a boost for your immune system and your skin. And then the purple is for focus for your brain, which is what I really, really need. But this is actually a new flavor. So the last time I got my box, I forgot all about the fact that they had a new flavor. And so I did not adjust my shipment. So this time I made sure to adjust my shipment and include some of this new flavor, which is calming for stress support and relaxation, guava breeze. So we're going to try that one and see how we like it. Like I said, we do use this to keep our nutrition up on an everyday basis, but I also like these for preparedness because if you just look at the size of the package, it's a very small, thin package, and these contain multiple servings of whole fruits and vegetables and nothing else. So this one has sweet potato, pineapple, peach, pear, mango, guava, kiwi, ginger, and turmeric. Apple, tart cherry, carrot, raspberry, butternut squash, strawberry, beet, tomato. So, and you can see there's fiber in these. There's all sorts of good things from the whole fruits and vegetables. Grape, apple, banana, zucchini, cucumber, Granny Smith, spinach, kale, and moringa. And I can order this in any combination that I like. I can get all of one color if I wanted, or all of another, or mix and match it any way I want. But I like to have the variety because I feel like we get the most variety of nutrition that way. But I do love these for preparedness. We always stick these into bug out bags anytime we're putting together an MRE pack, anytime we're putting food in any place that we might need to grab it and use it, because it's a very easy way to get a lot of fruits and vegetables and fiber and just nutrition that you're not typically going to get in your emergency food. And it takes up very little space. You don't have to worry about it bursting or freezing. It's not a liquid. It's really just a really handy way to keep that nutrition with you. Also, just in your food storage, I mean, there are multiple servings in each packet of fruits and vegetables. And you can see this box, it takes up about as much space as a shoebox, and it has so many of these packets. So this is really a great way to keep a lot of fruit and vegetable nutrition in a very small amount of space. If you are tight on space for your food storage, this can be a real big help. You can see I do like to use powdered things to save space in my prepper pantry. I think it's a great idea for many people. The only thing is, obviously, when you're using powdered versions of things, you're going to need a little bit more water. But any good emergency preparedness plan must address water. You've got to be able to find water and treat water beyond what you store in your home. I do have links down below if you want to find these, and I believe I also have a discount code for our viewers that I can put down there for you as well. Now here I've got a few pet things. I'm just going to slide these out of the way and talk about them after. I thought this was a great time to talk about stocking up for your pets because I basically bought all the different types of pet food that we would store, so I can talk about everything this week. So obviously we all love our pets. Either they're pets and they're a part of our family, or they are a working animal that we rely on. So we definitely want to take care of them no matter what. We want to be prepared for our pets just the same as we want to be for us. A big part of that is storing food and water, just like it is for people. Now you want to make sure you have plenty of food and water stored for your pets. Kibble is what a lot of people feed their pets. We feed our pets kibble. Kibble is basically the worst thing that you can store just because it doesn't have as long of a shelf life as any other option. So you're not going to get much more than a year out of any kibble, no matter how you store it. I have found with this brand that the shelf life is a little bit longer on these than most of the ones that I was buying at the grocery store or the discount store. And I think that might be because of the way that they seal their bags and what their bags are made out of. But kibble in general isn't going to last as long as something else. So we store a few months worth of extra kibble, usually at least 4 months worth of extra kibble, but not a ton. What's better for storing for pets, and in some cases it's actually better for their health, in a lot of cases, is a canned food. Canned food is going to have a much longer shelf life for your pets. It has a very long shelf life, just like canned food for humans. So a canned food is going to be a better choice for long-term storage. Whether you use it or not on a daily basis, we do recommend, of course, always store what you use and use what you store. So if you're going to store canned food, also feed them canned food. And then the third option for food is a freeze-dried food. This is becoming a lot more available. And of course, we know all the benefits of freeze-dried food for humans, and it's the same for pets. It has a very long shelf life. It maintains a lot more nutrients than any other form of food preservation. There is a lot more nutrients in real food in this freeze-dried food than there is in a kibble or even a canned food, because canned food is heat processed, high heat processed. Now, this freeze-dried food, this is freeze-dried raw food, which we like. Some people don't want to give raw food, especially to certain dogs like puppies. The good thing about raw food is that you could cook it. So it can be both, depending on what your needs are. Another thing I love about the freeze-dried food is that this is appropriate for both cats and dogs. It's got dog feeding guidelines and cat feeding guidelines, and it's appropriate for both. And we have both. We have 6 dogs and we have currently only 4 cats living with us. But so this is one thing that we can store that we know we can keep on hand for a long time, and it can feed all of the pets that we have, or at least the dogs and the cats. It's very light. It's much lighter than the same amount of a kibble, much lighter. You do need water to mix with it. Now, this kind of food is really just for their nutrition. It's not really intended for long-term storage. So for long-term storage, we would repackage something like this. But this has about a 2-year shelf life just on its own. So by rotating through things, we are able to keep a good supply without even having to repackage necessarily. Now, because freeze-dried is usually the most expensive option, what we do with this, because we do have a lot of dogs, we don't feed them solely 100% on this food, although I wish that we could. We use this as an add-in and a topper to give them some of that nutrition, make sure that they're used to it and that their bodies are used to it. If we were to be using this in an emergency or an evacuation, this is our choice for packing with us. Like I said, it can serve all of our animals. It's light, it's easy to travel with. So storing food, kibble, not so much, just a few months worth, a lot more canned food, and then freeze-dried if that's something that you want to add in. The other thing that I grabbed here are treats. Now, of course, treats are not a necessary part of their nutrition. In fact, if you're feeding your pet treats, you need to account for those calories. We do like to give more nutritious treats. These are, we've got some freeze-dried treats here. They are limited ingredient, freeze-dried. These meatballs, all sorts of different ingredients, bison, pumpkin, carrot, grain-free, gluten-free. These are great, healthy treats. But the reason that I like treats for preparedness is for this reason. My animals, our cats and dogs, are very, very food motivated. And so we can get them to come to us and to do a lot of things we need them to do for food. And when they hear this bag crinkle, they hear the noise of these bags, they come running. In fact, I just heard a cat meowing behind me because they know that this is something that they want. And so if you've ever had to evacuate with your pets, if you've ever had to go down into a storm shelter or anything like that, you know that it can be difficult to find them, to get them to do what you need them to do. So I like to have something like this on hand that I know is going to entice them, that they're going to hear that and hopefully come to me if I need them, come where I need them to be, into their crate, into the storm shelter, anything that they need. The other thing that works really well for us is the sound of this tab popping. So this type of food cans I like to keep on hand because the sound of this popping will bring them running, dogs and cats. So that is where all of this comes in for us with our preparedness. Of course, there's a lot more to preparedness for your pets, just like there is for humans, than just food and water. But I will get into that in a whole separate video. If you're interested in finding out how you can get this premium, natural, holistic pet food for free, including the freeze-dried food, look down in the description box below the video and I'll have some information down there on how you can get anywhere from 2 to up to 12 bags of this pet food for absolutely free. I do have one more thing I picked up here, which is this Immuno Shroom. This is like a mushroom immunity supplement, and it's for dogs and cats. It's one thing that I look for if I can find a product that's good for both, because we have both and it just saves me buying multiple things. This is great for immunity. We try to keep our pets healthy. We try to keep ourselves healthy because that's going to put us in a better situation if we ever are in an emergency or a long-term grid down, anything like that. We do have a couple of pets who have issues with allergies, with skin conditions and things that this is hopefully going to help with. This is a brand new supplement that just came out that we are just going to be starting to try. Oops, one more treat. Chicken, mozzarella, and spinach meatballs. Got a little more stuff over here. These are actually for cast iron cookware, which is really great for cooking in general, and it's also good for emergency cooking because it's great over an open fire, or it's great over a wood stove, anything you need. And it holds heat a lot. So these are actually like handle covers and things that you would use to grip your cast iron if you put it in the oven. I actually picked these up because I needed something to put my little travel immersion water heater into. I wanted something to store it in that would be a little bit of insulating. So I got a couple of these sets. This silicone one, it did not quite fit in here. So this one will just be used on my cast iron. And I did end up using one of these to hold my little travel immersible water heater. But the rest of these will be used for their intended purpose for our cast iron, especially when we're putting it in the oven. This is just a pack of single serve burn, emergency burn gel. This is a 4% lidocaine. This is a good one. I like to have individual packs for, putting in my car first aid kit, my camping first aid kit, my trauma kit, any place that I need to put a small amount. If I'm in my home, I have room to store a big bottle or a big tube. But if we're on the go, bug out bags and things, any place you might want this, you want to have smaller packets so that you can have it available, at least have it on hand. So that's why I buy these individual packets. We don't use them all the time, but we use them for those purposes. This squeezy ginger, I really, really like this stuff. Gives you the flavor of fresh ginger, but you don't have to deal with the peeling and chopping of an actual fresh ginger root. So a lot of the time I will use this because it's just so much easier. And this is shelf stable. I have seen it sold in the refrigerated section sometimes at BJ's or places like that, but this is shelf stable before opening. So this is something that I keep on hand. Then I've got a big bottle of barbecue sauce. This is something that we use quite often. I mean, even just some meat, you can throw some barbecue sauce, maybe throw some beans in it. You can make a good dish, even with freeze-dried or canned meats and canned beans. Barbecue sauce is something that even when it's open, I don't refrigerate this. We just usually don't have room. We've never had an issue. This is just a couple of travel brushes, hair brushes. These are a pretty flat, compact package. Just pop it open. It has a mirror on it. And just pop out the bristles. And you've got a regular hairbrush. So these are great for travel. They're great if you need to keep something in your vehicle. They're great if you want to keep some personal hygiene type of items in your bug out bag or any other kit like that. You probably don't want to be, stuck out, evacuate your home, be stuck out for days and days and days and not be able to brush your hair. So this is a good thing to have. I had some other ones. They've all kind of fallen apart over time. So I'm trying this one next. Sometimes you can find these at Dollar Tree. I haven't found any of the Dollar Trees near me in quite a while. So I did order these from Amazon. Just another personal hygiene item is some Tide to Go sticks, Tide Stick to Go. These are handy if you get a stain on yourself and you're traveling. If it was a really dire emergency, of course, you probably wouldn't care about stains, but just for your everyday readiness and preparedness, being ready for any situation, I like to keep these on hand. Next, I've got some nuts here. These are macadamia nuts. We keep lots of nuts on hand in our prepper pantry. They're a good source of nutrients. They're a good source of healthy fats and calories and usually some fiber. These are macadamia nuts, and these are not the best choice for long-term storage. These tend to go rancid, I think, faster than a lot of other nuts. But because we do use these for snacking, because they're a really good keto nut, they're one of the lowest carb, highest fat nuts. So if you do keto, these are a good choice. So I do snack on these and we use them in baked goods. So we can usually go through them quickly enough that they don't go rancid, but I wouldn't want to try to hold on to these for much longer than 6 months. But if you put them in your freezer, they'll last a lot longer. If you seal them up in a glass jar with an oxygen absorber, that's going to also help them. But nuts in general are a good thing to have in your prepper pantry. Next, I got a couple of these Just Add Water backpacking meals. This is a pouch, and then you just add boiling water to the pouch, seal it up for a little bit. We put it inside of an insulated koozie thing. And then you've got a meal, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything but boil water. So these are actually great for preparedness. They're actually also great for like backpacking and camping and things like that. But what we really like to use these for, because we like to keep our things rotated. These do have a 20-year shelf life, but we don't want to buy stuff that's just going to sit there for 20 years. and then maybe never get used at all. So we make sure that we use them. So one thing we use these for is travel. And if you saw the recent video we did a taste test on all sorts of different meals like this on our travels. They're great for travel because, like the pet food, they're freeze dried, so they're pretty light. And so they don't add a lot of weight to your suitcase. And this can save us a lot of time and a lot of money when we're traveling. If we don't want to eat out every single meal, it saves us a lot of money. And it also kind of keeps us eating healthier because I tend to eat a lot of just deep fried things and bread and rolls and biscuits and whatever they have at a restaurant because I'm trying to treat myself. So it's much better for us if we stick to something like this for some meals. So this is just replacing a couple of the meals that we used because these are really good ones that we do enjoy. And shortly after I got these, I did find out that next month, starting in October, this one is going to be on sale as part of a pack of meals. And like I mentioned in my video, if you do want to store some of these, you want to try them first and make sure that you like them before you store them away. A lot of people make that mistake. So variety packs are a really great way to do that. This one is going to be on sale in October in a variety pack. So if you are interested in trying some of these meals, that would be a great time to do it. Because we do often buy these on sale, we really don't, we usually pay anywhere from around $10 to maybe $15 at the absolute, top price that we would pay for any meals like this. And we would typically eat, sometimes we will share a pouch because this has 3 servings, which in reality, this was probably more like 2 servings, just like those 2 serving meals are realistically probably 1 serving. But we can usually both eat one of these meals. If one of us is super, super hungry or we want something totally different, we might make 2 meals. But so we're paying anywhere from $10 to $30 for 1 meal for both of us. And that is much cheaper than we can do that anywhere eating out, even fast food nowadays. So even if we're at home sometimes and we just didn't have time to cook, we don't have a plan for dinner, we're too tired, we just don't want to deal with it, and the kids aren't home, we will oftentimes do something like this because it still saves us money over getting pizza delivery or fast food or anything like that. And then back here, I've got a case. So that's 12 boxes of this Mediterranean curry flavored couscous mix. I really love these. I think they're great for preparedness because all you have to do to cook these is boil the water, you stir the couscous in, you cover it up for 5 minutes off the heat. It's literally just has to soak in boiling water for 5 minutes and it's done. And this is a really tasty one. I like this. My family really likes this. They do have a couple other flavors if curry is not your thing, because we also use these just as easy side dishes for dinner. If I need a side dish for dinner and I didn't really plan ahead, I just need to boil water and let it sit for 5 minutes and it's done. You could add extra vegetables or extra meat to these if you wanted to make them into a more complete meal. So I honestly think they're a really great thing to have on hand for your emergency pantry. Now up here, I've got something that I was kind of excited about. Yeah, I'm that kind of person that can get excited about cleaning supplies because I love things that are seasonal and I love things that are holiday related and seasonal related. And I do use this Dawn Powerwash. And I saw that they had all these seasonal scents and I was super excited. This one does not say limited edition, so I'm thinking this is one they usually have all the time. It's not one I've bought before, but to me, apple is very seasonal. It's very autumn related. And then they had this pumpkin spice, which was so cute. They had this cranberry and they had this pine, basically Christmas tree scented is what it looks like. I was super excited to find these. I found them on Walmart, not at my store, but on the website. I will put a link down in the description box so that it can help you find it if you need to. I do use this stuff and these weren't any more expensive. The limited edition weren't any more expensive than the regular ones. In fact, I think I was even able to get Ibotta rebates on these. Yes, I was. I got Ibotta rebates, so I got money back for buying these. I'll put my Ibotta link down in the description as well if you want to save some money on things like this. I think these could actually also be good for emergencies because if you look at the directions, it just says spray, wipe, and rinse. So it just calls for spraying your dishes, letting them set for a minute, wiping it off, and then rinsing them. So it seems like a little bit of a less water way to wash dishes. I don't really use it like that. I basically use it as just the power wash. Like if I have something that's really stuck on, I will spray it and let it set for a while just to break that down. And then I just wash them like normal, either in the dishwasher or in a sink full of soapy water. But I do think this could probably be a good choice for emergencies. And then the last thing I have here is 4 cases of canning jars from Azure Standard. I've got wide mouth pint and half gallon. I've been storing a lot of dry goods in half gallon jars, and so I've been buying a lot of them. I've got 2 cases there. There's one more case underneath. The Azure Standard canning jars are really, really nice, and they come with superb lids, which are the really, really good lids. That being said, I pretty much only buy their jars if they are cheaper than the ball jars at my Walmart, because I don't have a huge problem with the ball jars, so I don't see paying more if I don't need to. But I know on these half-gallon ones, these are cheaper, or at least they were at the time I bought these, than the ball jars at Walmart. The pint jars, I'm thinking these must have been cheaper. I didn't really remember, but I ordered them, so I'm thinking that must be the case. But it's important to have canning jars around to be able to preserve your food. Even if you aren't a canner, I really, really urge you to just learn some basic canning, because if you are ever in a situation where the power is going to be out for a long time, that's a way you can preserve your food and save a lot of your food. And of course, these jars can also be used for storing dry goods. Like I make meals in a jar in quart and pint jars all the time. Dry ingredient, freeze-dried meals in a jar. You can store rice in these jars, wheat, you can store salt in them, all sorts of things. They're a great way to store your food as long as you can keep it in a dark place, because these will protect from air getting in, they'll protect from moisture getting in, and they are pretty much impervious to rodents and insects, but they do allow light to enter, which is the one negative. But these jars are really great quality. Like I said, they come with the really nice, superb lids, the ones with the blue seal that seal really well. And another neat thing about them is that the printing on the jar is more pushed into the inside of the jar rather than raised out on the outside. So if you like to put labels on the fronts of your jars like I do, it's a lot better for that. And they also have one pretty much completely smooth side if that is something that you like to do also. That's everything we added to our preps and our prepper pantry recently. Let me know down in the comments, what is the biggest thing that you're bracing for right now? If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a maple leaf emoji down in the comments, and check out this video next to see my tips for preparing for a hurricane. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.